Dramatically positioned on the banks of the River Thames, Hampton Court Palace is one of Britain's most iconic historic landmarks. Once home to Henry VIII and his infamous Tudor court, today it welcomes visitors from across the globe to step back in time through centuries of royal history. But behind its stunning red brick facade and grand halls lies one of the most magnificent garden landscapes in the country. And that's what I'm here to explore. Now, this surely must be one of the most recognisable views here at Hampton Court. What's the significance of this space?
Well, this is the Great Fountain Garden. So this was laid out by Moreau for William and Mary in the late 1690s. It's a goosefoot of 3 avenues that centre on the state apartments in the palace.
Yeah.
And originally there were 13 fountains, actually, but
really?
When Queen Anne came to the throne...
Unlucky for some, but obviously not the royals.
But when Queen Anne came to the throne, the garden was simplified a lot, and we just have 1 remaining fountain. Interesting,
going back such a long time ago with this amazing central fountain. I mean, technology was very basic then, so how did they get the power to make these all work?
Yep, so it's all gravity fed. So the Longford River actually supplies all the water, and that was dug. It's actually up near Terminal 5 at Heathrow
Really?
Airport, and the water comes all that way, and the pressure drives up the jets.
And still working to this day?
Yep.
Also magnificent are these mushroom dome-shaped yews. They're so striking. Have they been here a long time?
They have, yes. A lot of them are the original trees from the original topiary, so they would have been small, clipped yew trees originally.
And you've uplimbed them so superbly. It's so neat, that canopy and the way you've cut them.
Yes, they get clipped with a cherry picker each year, cut with a hedge cutter, and kept as tight as possible.
But you're introducing new planting all the time, aren't you?
We are. So the Great Fountain Garden is also famous for the Victorian bedding scheme. So when Queen Victoria opened the gardens to the public in the 1830s, the fashion for bedding out with huge numbers of annuals became very, very popular, and people flocked to Hampton Court Palace. But with our move to more sustainable growing here, we're looking at how we can reduce the impact of our glasshouses, which use a huge amount of gas to produce all those bedding plants. So we're looking at a more permanent, more sustainable scheme.
Now, for people that might want to try and recreate a little bit of this grandeur at home, what would you say to them?
I think it's all about symmetry. It's all about control over nature. So, you know, topiary, clipped forms, there's plenty of yews.
And who wouldn't want a little slice of this at home? It's absolutely breathtaking. These gardens are world famous. How would you describe them?
I suppose the gardens are layered in history. So the real development started in the 1530s with Henry VIII, and then the next significant change was actually William and Mary when they came onto the throne in the 1690s.
So they really changed the face of the gardens, I suppose. They were really keen to really show off what they had.
They did.
But what different areas do you have here? How large is the site?
The site's about 60 acres, but actually the wider estate is 750 acres, so we're set within a bend of the Thames. And we actually look after 3 miles of the Thames as well, riverbank. Here, the wilderness, which began being planted up with all of these amazing daffodils in the Edwardian period, and then they've just been added to ever since.
And of course, you're famous for your tulips as well. You have a lot of those, don't you?
We are, yes. We've got about 100,000 tulips that we plant, and there's always a few nervous moments trying to see when they're going to actually come up and flower. But
depends on the
yes,
weather.
Yes.
So with the mowing, do you keep everything short and neat, or do you let some of it grow longer for, say, no-mow May?
Yep, we do. So the wilderness here is actually left to, after the daffodils have flowered, it's actually left to grow longer.
And of course, this kind of style so fashionable today, with people wanting to explore rewilding. In your own garden, this is something you could do perhaps on a smaller scale.
Yep, definitely. So, so I think the aim is just to have a succession of pollinators. So yeah, you want a succession of flowers.
And people can buy those ready-made bulb mixes, can't they? The job's done for them.
Yep, exactly. And then they'll just flower in succession.
Now, from this beautiful wilderness and natural area, I think there's something a little bit more stately around the corner.
There is.